Hello there. It's 3 o'clock on a Tuesday, and we all know what that means. Another riveting episode of Behind Breaking Blind. Happy Halloween.
It's Happy Halloween from the Breaking Bond guys and gals here. Hey, what's my name? Andy. Oh, Andy Kahn, Director of Victim Services. Now, we'll take a viewer poll. Is this real or what? Okay, so there.
Joining us is Nicole. Introduce yourself, Nicole.
Nicole Kristoff, the Deputy Director at Crime Stoppers of Houston.
Where's your mask?
We're going to take another viewer poll on whether or not Andy should get a new costume, because we've seen this one for multiple years.
It's tired.
It is.
Very tired.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have multiple masks.
But it doesn't matter. Multiple masks don't count. It's the whole ensemble.
I like the hands myself.
It's
The hands are new, right?
The hands are weird too. Like one's white, one's kind of green, and that one's got weird fingers. I don't know.
Now I'm sad.
I don't
I'm taking my mask and
Meanwhile, I've got my
away.
lovely
I
hat.
gotta take this off. I can't breathe.
What's going on in the world?
Now will you imagine him coming to your door?
Are you saying I'm more scary like this with this on? I like that. Look
With
at
a
that.
mic, and you see, that's new, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least you can see out of that one.
Yeah. This one's hard to see out of and breathe.
Yeah.
All right, so now
You just don't barely have two little
thoroughly
nostrils.
Right.
I mean,
What are you
we've
doing
gone-
for Halloween? Anything?
Oh, I don't do anything. I wait for the next day for the Halloween candy to go on sale.
There you go. Yeah.
That's, to me, the best thing about Halloween.
Yeah. Y'all be at Kroger tomorrow too.
Oh, I'll be at them all.
He's got the line. It's like a little a map he has plotted
Exactly.
out.
Really?
Mhm.
We're-
Hey, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is some recent cases.
Yeah,
These are cases that were solved because of tips to Crime Stoppers.
absolutely, 100%.
And just to kind of make everybody aware, explain for us again how it works.
So when you call the tip line, everybody knows the number 713-222-TIPS, or if you use our mobile app or our website, all three ways are 100% anonymous. And the way that they're kept anonymous is with code numbers. So when you call and say, hey, Andy Kahn knocked over the liquor store, they're going to give you a code number that's unique to you. And you're going to be told, call back in a certain amount of time so they can verify
Right.
that information. And
How
then
long does it usually, I guess it varies too on the case, right?
It varies.
Yeah.
Like, I guess a murder case might take a little bit longer.
Sure.
A fugitive case, less.
Right.
It just really depends on all of the information provided. Did they give us the name and a possible location, and has he been skirting around that location? kind of
Right.
thing? So, yeah. it
What's
just
the
depends.
best information that somebody can give?
The best information is as much information. You always hear police say, be a good witness. Like
Right.
when you're out and about, pay good attention. So a full name, a date of birth, aliases, social media handles.
Yeah.
That's a really big one right now, because a lot of people only know their associates by their handles,
Right.
their apps.
And we just had that guy that put the TikTok videos
Yes,
of him clocking somebody on
Right.
TikTok, and that's how he was found. Right?
Yeah.
Brainiac.
You know,
on that guy.
that is so disturbing to me. You know, why someone would just go up to somebody and do that and think it's funny. There's
What
nothing
is it?
funny
I
about
mean,
that.
no, and like seriously, one of the victims, he pulled a gun on the guy and was like, give me your stuff.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's telling on the news, oh, it was just a bad mistake. That
It
was
was
not
a bad
dude.
mistake. It was
You-
intentional.
You went out that day with your little buddy to film you acting like a jagaloon, hitting unsuspecting people.
That's a good word to use.
I like that.
Jackaloon.
That was good,
Like
right?
jackal.
I like
Jackal.
Well, and here, these people that do it, they're basically committing a crime
Oh, yeah.
that's caught on tape. So it's how do you say later, oh, that wasn't me?
Well, you don't,
Yeah.
especially when you post it on your own social media pages.
And you know, personally, I think like TikTok and Instagram, they need to do more. You know, when people do this kind of stuff, they shouldn't post it or they should take it down.
Well, some people say there are certain aspects of social media that are heavily monitored and filtered and removed. My husband's got put in Facebook jail a couple of times, but yet this kid
Right.
and others like him make their clicks off of these awful
And they're
apps.
encouraging other people to do the same
100%,
thing.
100%. And there were two things about these victims that concerned me, and Andy and I talked about it. Number one is it seemed that both of the victims were of Asian descent, which then begs the question,
Was it a hate crime?
was it a hate crime? At least one of the guys looked like they might have been elderly or close to,
And again, was that a hate crime?
Exactly. So you have all of these factors that aren't even being considered at this point because we've got the guy now and he's charged with a felony and a misdemeanor, and then his buddy is charged with the same.
But his buddy hasn't been caught yet, so
Right.
he could actually use tips.
There you go. There you go.
Do you know what's his Kingston
Something.
Miker?
Yeah.
Kingston Miker. How did I pull that out of my hat?
And okay,
You're wearing a hat.
and quite a hat.
Thank you.
You have to kind of look at it like, okay, when I was a kid or a teenager, young, we would do stupid things.
Yeah.
I mean, being a teenager, you're naturally stupid, right?
Yes, yes.
But never did I ever hear about anybody doing something like that. Like attacking someone out of the blue for no reason at all. So you have to wonder, did social media cause this?
Well, first of all, what would have happened to you if you did act like a jagaloon?
Oh, I'd be in serious trouble.
That's right,
You'd be the
absolutely.
anchor at Fox, right?
Right.
I would have gotten in a huge amount of trouble. The Avon lady in our neighborhood had carte blanche to spank us if we acted like jagaloons running through the neighborhood. So that's part of it. But I think social media is the devil. I think it's the end of times it just begets wonderful things and then the worst.
But I don't think the good outweighs the bad. Do you?
I think there's so many factors. You have the mental health aspect.
Yeah.
Of people comparing themselves to curated profiles.
Right.
You have the luring of minors, and that's awful.
Yeah.
You have people that are creating these trends to get more clicks and more likes. That's awful.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, it's like we live in a society now where that's what matters the most to people. How many likes?
What do I have?
Yeah.
I get I have tens of likes on my post, tens. A
It's just,
legion of 10 people.
but it's not going to ever go away, do you think?
Well, the genie's out of the bottle. It's not going to go away.
But at the same time, it's a hell of an investigative tool.
Oh, it
'cause
is.
It makes life so much easier.
Yeah.
That is
Right.
so true.
It's gift wrapped.
As far as like to find people and yeah. Well, and you look at these young kids that they commit a crime and they put it on social media. And like I said before, how do you get away? You can't turn around. Well, that's not me.
That's not me, Your
That's-
Honor.
That's
It's
my evil twin.
It's my evil twin.
Which we have a lot of these days.
Exactly.
Really, my bad. We kind of got off track.
We did. We went like around.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you've had some recent cases that have been
Yes.
solved because of tips.
So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so we always are interested in any type of case that falls within that parameter.
Sure.
And this month, we had a person, I'm not gonna call him a man because men don't do the things he does, but he's a textbook example of a domestic violence perpetrator that will most likely escalate to a homicide. He had animal cruelty. He shot a puppy.
What?
Yeah, he shot a dog, which that's a very big indicator and factor in domestic violence. He strangled his fiance, and then the piece de resistance, he attacked and assaulted his fiance's friend who was trying to help her, who was also pregnant,
What?
punching her and hitting her.
And this
in
was
the
after he
abdomen.
already served time in prison.
Yes.
He already
yes.
had 3 prior felony convictions.
He's a stand-up fella.
That's terrible.
So we
It
got
is.
what? He was a bond, he was out on bond on all these cases,
He's
right?
6 bonds right now, right?
Right now, but he was out on bond. How did we get it?
We got a tip because he broke the conditions of his bond and a warrant was issued, and we got a tip that said where he was at. So we were able to get him arrested based on that. And then he bonded out again.
No,
He did.
stop.
He did.
You're just scaring me now.
Absolutely bonded out again.
You can't
This is
script
not,
this for
this
the
is
show.
not a
can
trick.
you?
So we're up to 7 bonds?
he's up to 6. Up to
Six.
6. Over 100,000?
Over, there was $110,000 worth of bonds.
Okay, and in a situation like that, I can't even imagine what this fiance is thinking, right? Because,
I know.
and you see that in domestic violence cases a lot, don't you? Where
Yeah.
somebody is attacking a person, they get arrested and they bond out, and sure, there might be a restraining order, but that's just a piece of paper.
It's only as good as the paper it's written on. He was hoping for a jump scare on that one. A protective order, a restraining order, they're good to build cases, obviously, and it's kind of as good as the person is willing to abide by
Right.
it. So,
Yeah, if the person, it's like an ankle monitor. If a person wants to
Yeah.
abide by that, it's the greatest tool in the world. But
Right.
guess what? If they don't want to abide by it, it's not going to stop. And the same thing with a protective order, restraining order.
exactly.
You know, there are people that, primarily women, but it can be men too, that they find themselves in these situations and you know that they're friends and other people, well, let's just leave. It's
Oh,
not
that's
that
so easy to
easy.
say, isn't it?
Right, yeah,
It's so easy to say, but you think about different factors that would keep somebody from leaving. If you live together,
right. Where are you gonna go?
where are you gonna go? You're paying presumably half of the rent, he's paying the other, or she is paying the other half of the rent. What if you have kids?
Right,
What if you have pets?
yes,
That
yeah,
you don't wanna leave the kids, you don't wanna leave the pets.
right,
There's the financial abuse where they maintain control over all of the household monies. So that prevents the victim from leaving as well. You have the intimidation factor.
yeah,
If you leave me, I'm gonna go find your parents and I'm gonna kill them.
right,
If your friend helps you leave me, I'm gonna attack them.
yeah,
We got this case. We had a case several weeks ago where the friend was actually killed because she was trying to help a friend out of a domestic
I
violence
remember that.
situation. So there's a lot of factors that make it extremely difficult for a victim to feel safe enough.
Especially
to
in a
leave.
case like this, because you look at it, he's already had multiple chances on bond, right?
Mm-hmm.
He forfeited the bond. He's already been to prison several times, yet here he is again,
Mhm.
Yeah,
back out. So if you're the victim of this, you're going, where's the system working for me?
And
Right.
why do I put myself at risk if he's just gonna
right,
get out
yeah,
again?
right, yeah, you're
And
just
make
gonna
it so
piss this
much
person
worse.
off.
Exactly.
And yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I've known people that, smart, intelligent
Oh, gosh.
women that had a lot going for them, and and then once you get to know the situation, it's like,
Yeah.
I see how that happened. I see how you got in this mess.
It is a crime like most that does not have any boundaries. It doesn't only apply to one socioeconomic
No,
group.
no.
It doesn't apply only to one gender
Right,
or one race. It literally applies to just about anybody, men, women, young,
And
old.
it starts with love, right? It starts in this love situation,
You think it's
right?
love, but
And then it just,
it ends up being control.
right.
And
But you know, one thing I will say about social media, I mean, anybody that starts dating somebody, Google them.
Google.
Google.
Here's a good
Google.
idea. So if you have friends, this is Nicole's tip of the day.
Yeah,
It's Tuesday tip day.
I like
So
that.
Nicole's tip of the day, if you have a friend that's single, y'all live in Harris County, and they say, hey, I just met this really neat guy named Randy Wallace, and we're going out on a date. Friend, go to the
Google.
Harris County District Clerk's
Yes,
website,
yes,
set yourself up a profile,
right.
check that name out. It will tell you for free if they have a criminal history
Right.
in Harris County and what that history is.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's a real easy way to check. Google them.
It's all public record. And
It
you can
is.
also- You can also check the sex offender registry.
right, right.
Yes, yeah. That's the best prevention is being educated.
Yeah,
So we paid a tip on this case.
Yes, we did.
And I'll go out on a limb just based on a pattern. We haven't seen the last of Mr. Hurrington, just based on
I
the
would think
pattern,
yeah,
which means more than likely it'll probably get back to us again.
right.
Yeah,
And this is kind of a relatively new phenomena that we've kind of seen here,
it
is
is.
paying a tip and then a year later we're going, wait,
Wait, I know that name.
I know
Yeah.
that, right, exactly. We've already done that case again.
Because they're
And-
out on
and
bond,
this is-
doing something else.
This is his history right here. I mean, that's a long history. And
he's
it's
what, 20-something, 22? or-
interfering with
Right.
an emergency request for assistance. So he stopped his victim from calling 911, unlawful restraint, assault of a family member, violation of a protective order, assault of a family member, assault of a pregnant person, felon in possession of a weapon,
Wow.
animal cruelty, injury to the disabled, terroristic threat, trespass, evading, burglary, theft.
How do you not think this person represents a risk
Right,
to
There's-
public
Yeah.
safety?
There's only
Is-
3, 4, only a few of these cases were dismissed, but they were dismissed because he was convicted on
something
the
else.
other
Yeah, some
charges
sort of
that
plea
were
thing.
The
combined.
only
in.
time he's been crime-free was when he was locked up.
Correct.
Well, how many times do you
We-
see
we've
that?
said- You and I have said that there's a gap. We
Yeah.
call it the gap years.
Oh, they were
And it's
behaving.
because they're in prison. I mean, every single time, right?
Mhm.
Whenever you look at someone's criminal history and it's like, wait a minute, here's 4 or 5 years, they didn't do anything. It's because they were in prison, they couldn't do anything.
Exactly.
It got even stranger this afternoon with this.
Oh, gosh. So Andy, you know, we do this every day. Just, Nicole, check this out. Tell me if I'm reading this right. Okay, Andy. So we pull up a bunch of stuff on this guy, and then Andy goes back to his office to do some independent verification because he didn't trust me, and he misspelled the guy's name, added an R to it. Lo and behold, there's another guy, same name with an R added to the first name, same middle name, same last name, same date of birth.
He was just playing with his name?
No, I think they're twins.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
We think there's
What?
twins, and they have the same type of criminal history,
Really?
which is sad.
Was domestic?
Yeah, so the person that we assume is a twin is also out on bond. He is also out on bond. Wait. No,
They
this
list
is-
the same street address, only a different numeric address.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Yeah.
he's out on bond for possession of marijuana, interfering with an emergency request, unlawful restraint, assault of a family member, violation of a protective order, marijuana, violation of protective order, violation of protective order, domestic violence, assault of a pregnant person.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you'd think you're reading the same rap sheet. You would think you're reading the same rap sheet, but
At
you're
least
not.
he didn't shoot a puppy.
That's true. That's very true. Which, God dang it, who shoots it? Oh, but this is the craziest thing. So when we're looking him up on his bond conditions or report, it said that he also threatened to stab the same puppy that he shot previously. So
Was he like doing that to get back at her kind of a thing?
most likely,
Who does that?
well, a jagaloon,
Yeah.
you know.
So as I was telling Nicole, I said, strangely enough, none of this, of course, was planned. It was just a case we were going to highlight, and of course, we end up on all these different train tracks. And I said, I'll bet we end up actually featuring this guy.
Yeah, oh yeah. This sounds like a breaking bond,
premonition
right?
They're
later on.
They're
Yes.
both really just, unfortunately, whatever circumstances in their life are heading down a disastrous path. And the people involved in their lives will be on that path with them.
Yeah. I mean, look how many people they're impacting, they're affecting.
And not to mention children that
Yeah.
aren't in these, you know, you've got the fiance had a baby, the friend that's pregnant. What about the father of the friend's baby?
Right.
You know, I mean, there's all kinds of residual.
And that's one thing too, in relationships, if you're in a relationship and it's just the two of you and it goes bad, you could say, okay, never see you ever again. Once you have a child, you are connected to them for life.
For life. It's not just 18 years.
Right, it's for
you know,
life.
and that does make it hard, you know, and I mean, children are an amazing miracle in life.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to be a grandmother. Christoph, get busy. But you know, I mean, it does add another layer to making it so much more difficult to escape a bad situation.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely. Do you have other cases too you want to talk about?
Nah.
No?
I mean, this guy really just kind of did it for me.
He's kind of hard to beat.
He was kind of hard to beat. When we were talking about it in the rewards committee, they're like, yeah, that's not enough money for this guy.
Yeah.
The board increased the reward. He just, I mean, it's sad, but
We
I
have
think
a
we're gonna-
picture of him with the task force. Okay, where's that task force?
Here he is.
Yeah.
He definitely is.
So
Okay, so
He's a rat.
this was around the tip that we got, guessing, that he was picked up, by a task force, precinct 5, just a handsome fella with a lovely head of hair.
Wow.
I mean, he
okay,
does
so
have
what
a
is
nice
it?
head
What
of
did
hair.
I highlight there in my chicken scratch highlight?
Well, Andy, it's kind of hard to tell because I think your highlighter might be running out of ink.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to make a straight line. But he was arrested, was sought on 3 felony warrants and 3 additional warrants for assaulting a family member, assaulting a pregnant person, cruelty to a non-livestock animal, felon in possession of a weapon, unlawful restraint, and interference with an emergency request. And since 2016, he has been arrested and charged with a total of 14 crimes in Harris
Wow.
County alone.
You know, in order to be charged with 14 crimes, you have to be out here
Right.
to do that.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back to when somebody is arrested and charged with aggravated robbery, your first thought is, okay, how many did you do
How many
before
did
you
get away
got
with?
caught? Right.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Was that a sand signal, Chandler?
that was a
That
wrap
was
this
like,
up.
you're yelling in my ear. Nancy Grace, when I was you would yell in my ear, you gotta wrap it up. You gotta wrap it up. One time I kept talking and all of a
Really?
sudden I'm talking and they're going right into a commercial, right in the middle of my sentence. So I will take your hand signal.
Wrap it up.
And so
Thank
what are we
you.
doing tonight?
We're looking at a case where you've got an individual who was on a PR, personal recognizance, get a jail-free card for a murder charge. And he's back in trouble, isn't he?
Yep, which is why we're featuring him tonight, but don't tell him because he doesn't know he's gonna be a guest star.
Right. We'll throw it
Imagine
on.
that.
Say it
Yes.
isn't so.
Nicole, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It was very interesting. Hope everyone has a happy Halloween. The newscast will be on late tonight because of the World Series game. Be kind to yourself and everyone else.
Thank you.